Ken Block. I'm the owner of KB Masonry and Tile. We've been doing business in the area, upstate New York, for 30 years. Over the years, we've done numerous jobs in the area. This is one we did 17 years ago for a customer, Marty Beckenbach.
Okay, good to see you this morning.
He wants to add on to what we did 17 years ago with a new sidewalk, a curved sidewalk, and that's where our custom concrete forms come in.
Let's pull these out of here and let's see what everything looks like. So,
there's a main form right there, Marty. That's what you do the long stretches with.
Okay, these are what you're calling the 8-foot beams. Then it's got your nice logo on it there, and yeah, and I also noticed there's some tapered holes in here. What are they for?
The tapered holes are for the tapered screws to go in. This makes it flush, so the concrete, when you pour the concrete up against the form, the screws don't go into the concrete.
So in other words, I can separate the form from the concrete real easy then.
Right, and then...
Okay, so these are actually countersunk holes then.
Correct.
So, okay.
Here's a splice that you connect with the tapered bolts, with the wing nuts.
The kit comes with the wing nuts and enough wing nuts and bolts to do the assembly work of all the pieces, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's great. What's our next piece coming out? Oh, there's a short piece.
Here's an end piece right here. So if you're getting up to the end of what you need to form, you can cut it off at any
length.
Any length you need to.
Okay. And you'll probably show us that throughout the rest of the routine then when we start putting all this together and start, forming everything up for the concrete.
Yep.
All right, so now that we got all these pieces out of here, I see that we have 10 of the 8-foot beams, which is enough to do 80 feet. And then you have your 6-foot beam, and then of course you have 10 of your splices here. Now on these splices, I've noticed that there's not a countersunk hole on the splices. Why is that?
Well, you don't need that because the wing nut is on that side.
Right.
And
okay. Right, so it just fastens right up there nice and tight, so it's nice and flush, almost acts like a washer in itself.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Marty, there's two ways we can do this. We could go up and we will spray paint out where you'd like your custom sidewalk to go. And if you didn't already have your grass taken out, we would spray paint the lines down on the outside so we could dig out the grass and the adequate amount of dirt to accommodate the new concrete that's going in.
Okay.
You would like to over dig a few inches so you could come back with a couple inches of stone. The stone helps you fine tune the grade, which the better the grade, the easier your form job will be, because it's nice if the forms can sit right on the gravel rather than having to raise them up or lower them down. You'd have to dig out more gravel.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is, what I would do is that I would take then that fluorescent paint, and I'm just going to dot along where I think I might want the forms to go. That's one of the methods. Then the other method would be is, since this job here, it's already been cut out and everything, we still might want to go up and dot out a few places where it might want to go, but we're going to assemble the forms, I guess, at this point, and then just kind of carry them right up in there, and then just kind of lay them all out. And I think that's the way that you prefer to do it, isn't it?
Correct.
Kenny, this is really cool. I'm really amazed at how fast this came together. We have 56 feet of custom formable concrete forms ready to go. So all we got to do now, I guess, is what? Just pull it into place and start putting it together, and then if we need anything else, we just add on after that, right?
Yep. Part part of the kit that you can purchase is the rebar kit. You use the rebar, it's economical, to hold the forms into place.
So what you're doing here now is you're going to make that tight radius.
Yep, I'm gonna use your orange dots right now for a guide, and you'll see how easy this is. I'm putting this piece of rebar on the inside for right now to hold the plastic form where it needs to be until after we pour the concrete, and then we'll pull the rebar out. You want to use your form stakes, you either put them inside or out like we have along through here to achieve the curve that you want. And once the concrete is poured, you pull the stakes out on the inside, and the pressure from the concrete will push the form up against the stakes that are on the outside. So I can continue on here. Okay, Marty, now that we got the forms all in, and we need to fine tune them.
Well, how do we fine tune? What's that all about? Because we have to set pitch and grade, right?
Right.
And why is that so important, Kenny?
You don't want the concrete to run towards the house, because when the water lands on it, it will run into your house. You want the concrete to pitch away from the house so that the water will also pitch away.
Okay, so it'll run away from the house because you don't want it to soak down in and get down into the foundation, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay, great. Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, you use a level. So we're going to take this 4-foot level, and if we put it on in between our 8-foot beam, we can see that
we have a slight pitch. We have about a 1/2 inch of pitch.
Right. So actually, this here needs to come up a little bit. So now when we put...
Okay, so that was pretty easy. So all we had to do is just, and another nice feature about this is all we have to do is just lift it up, put a little bit of stone underneath it to get it higher, or if it's too high, which I think is down in this area down here, we might have to just obviously just take a little bit of stone out and push it down in there then.
Right.
So now that we're down at this end here, we know that we need to set at a certain height over against the house here. So how are you going to do this at this point?
The maximum we can be from the top of this sidewalk to this is 8 inches. So we snapped the line on here, 7.5 inches down.
Okay.
So if we hold the bottom of the 2x4 on the line and we put the level on, we can see that we're pitching, just barely pitching. So this needs to come down a little bit.
I would say that looks pretty good. We got about there's a good 1/2 inch of pitch there. So I would say what we just did there is about right. Do you think so, Kenny?
Yep.
But now I see we have all this extra debris in here and rock and all that. Is this something that I should just rake out and push back up against the form?
No. Don't push it up against the form. We want to rake it down so we can maintain our 4 inches.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good.
So we have
point.
4 inches of concrete. If you push the stone up against this, if you push the stone up against the form, you'll have
right. You only it gets thinner and thinner. And it gets really weak.
Yeah.
Okay.
It thins the edge. So.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Marty, now that we have the curves where you want them, we have the pitch of the concrete set to where you want it, we're getting down to the end here now, and we need to make this transition.
Kenny, how do we make this transition now?
Marty, remember when we opened the kit, there was a sacrificial piece, the 6-footer. That's this right here.
Right.
This piece is so we can cut off whatever length we need to make the transition from the plastic to the wood.
To fill in that gap then. So what we do is we take the end, it has the pre-cut holes in them, we'll line it up with the other form, and then we take one of our splices and we put it together just like we did all the other pieces.
Correct. And then we mark this off and we'll cut it.
Okay. Why don't we let the piece go all the way to the end and just kind of screw it right into the wood?
Well, we would have a jog, and then that would not look nice. It would look...
All right, so in other words, at the end here, way down here, there would be a jog in it, and then you would actually see that from the top side. So that's why we want to actually put it in between the edge here.
Correct.
Okay, great. Well, let's mark it, and let's cut it, and let's put it together.
So I would put a stake on the outside.
Keeping it even, flush.
Yep. And then I'd put one on the inside too.
All right.
And remember, all these come out after you pour it.
All right, Kenny, now that we've finished up our transition here and we've used that sacrificial piece, it looks like we're pretty well all set here. I mean, everything looks really nice. We got some nice curves coming down through here. Our straight lines are all maintained. We got our pitch set. I mean, everything's really, really nice. So, I don't know. I would assume, I think we're done at this point. I mean, what do you think?
We're ready to pour concrete, Marty.
We're ready to pour concrete? Well, that's great, Kenny. Thank you very much for your help, and especially thank you very much for this great kit. It really made the job really, really easy. It came together really, really nice for us. So, good job on the kit. Appreciate it.
Thank you.